I am a 911 dispatcher. I have worked the overnight shift at the Mercer County Emergency Communications Center in Princeton, New Jersey for 11 years, and I have taken somewhere in the range of 40,000 calls in that time, and I have heard things on those calls that most people will never hear, and I have learned to stay calm in situations that would break most people, because staying calm is the only thing that helps when someone on the other end of the line is in the worst moment of their life. I am telling you this so you understand that I am not someone who frightens easily. I am telling you this so you understand that what happened on the night of March 3rd was not the result of stress or fatigue or an overactive imagination. I have been awake for many consecutive hours under pressure, and I know exactly what that does to a person's perception, and what happened on March 3rd was not that. This is the story of a call I received at 3:41 in the morning that I have never entered into the official system. Every call we receive is logged automatically by the computer-aided dispatch software the moment it connects. The call time, the number, the duration, all of it goes into the record immediately without any action required from the dispatcher. I have never in 11 years had a call that did not appear in that log. The call from March 3rd is not in the log. I have checked. I have checked many times. It is not there. But I took it. I remember every word of it. I want to start at the beginning of that shift because context matters. I came in at midnight, which is my normal start time, and relieved the evening dispatcher, a woman named Sandra who had been dealing with a busy night, 2 car accidents and a domestic disturbance and a medical call that had stretched things thin. She looked tired when I took over, and I told her to go home and get some sleep, and she said she would, and she left, and I settled in, and the next 2.5 hours were quiet, which is normal for that stretch of time in Mercer County, the particular dead stillness of a weeknight between about 1 and 4 in the morning, when even the people who keep strange hours are mostly asleep. I had 2 calls between midnight and 3:41. A noise complaint that turned out to be nothing, and a medical call for an elderly man who had fallen in his bathroom and needed an ambulance. Both logged, both dispatched, both resolved. Standard. Then at 3:41 the board lit up. This is what we call it when a call comes in, the board lights up, because the screen in front of you flashes with the incoming call information, the number, the location if we have it, the priority level. The board lit up at 3:41, and I answered it the way I always answer calls, with my name and the county and the question, "What is your emergency?" There was a pause on the line. Not a long pause, maybe 2 seconds, but enough that I said it again. 911, what is your emergency? There was a pause on the line. Not a long pause, maybe 2 seconds, but enough that I said it again. 911, what is your emergency? And then a woman spoke. She said she needed help. Her voice was calm. That was the first thing that registered, that unusual calm, because people who call 911 at 3:41 in the morning are not usually calm. They are frightened or angry or in pain. She was none of those things. She was speaking in the measured tone of someone who has thought carefully about what they are going to say and has decided to say it calmly because they understand that calm is more useful than panic. I asked her what was happening and where she was located. She gave me an address. I am not going to give you the address in this account because I have reasons for that which will become clear, but I will tell you it was a residential address in a neighborhood I knew, a quiet part of the county, the kind of street where nothing usually happens. I typed the address into the dispatch system as she gave it to me. The system did not recognize it. I typed it again, carefully, and the system returned an error. This happens occasionally with very new addresses or addresses that have been recently changed in our database, so I did not flag it immediately. I asked her to confirm the address and she confirmed it. I asked her what was happening at that address. She said someone was in her house. Her voice did not change when she said it. The same measured calm, as if she were telling me something she had decided needed to be said but that she had already made her peace with. I asked her if she could see the intruder, if she knew where in the house they were. She said yes. She said they had been in the house for a long time. That I asked her what she meant by a long time, and she said she did not know exactly how long, that it was difficult to say, that time had been strange recently. I want to pause here and tell you what I was doing while this conversation was happening because it matters. I was simultaneously trying to run the address through our system, trying to pull up the phone number the call was coming from, and trying to keep her talking in the way we are trained to do, to maintain contact and keep the caller calm and gather information. The address would not resolve. The phone number, which should have appeared automatically on my screen the moment the call connected, was showing as unavailable. Not blocked, not withheld. Unavailable. A category that in 11 years I had seen perhaps twice, both times as the result of specific technical glitches that were logged and investigated by our IT department. I noted it and kept talking to her. I asked her if she was in a safe location within the house. She said she was in the bedroom. I asked if she could lock the door. She said the door did not lock. I asked if she could describe the intruder. She was quiet for a moment and then she said describing them was not straightforward. I asked her what she meant. She said that what was in her house was not a person in the way that I probably meant. I have taken calls from people in psychotic episodes. I have taken calls from people who were describing things that were not happening the way they believed they were happening, and I know the particular quality of those calls, the disorganization, the fragmentation, the way the details shift and contradict each other. This call did not have that quality. She was coherent. She was sequential. She was describing something she had clearly been observing for some time and had thought carefully about how to communicate. I asked her what she meant when she said it was not a person. She said it was something that was using the shape of a person. She said it had been in the house for what she believed was approximately 3 weeks. She said it moved through the rooms at night and that she had started to understand that it was not trying to frighten her, that it seemed to have a purpose she could not entirely determine, and that she had been watching it the way she might watch an animal that had taken up residence in a space she occupied, with caution and without sudden movements. She said tonight was different. She said tonight it had come to the door of her bedroom and stood there, and that was new, that in 3 weeks it had never come to the bedroom door, and she had decided that whatever was going to happen next she wanted someone to know where she was. I asked her again if she could give me any physical description. She said it was approximately the height of a tall man. She said it did not have distinct edges the way people do, that the boundary between it and the air around it was not clear. She said it made no sound. None at all. She said in 3 weeks she had never heard it make a sound, not a footstep, not a breath, nothing, and that the silence of it was the thing she found most difficult. I told her I was sending help. I was trying to. I had sent a dispatch request to the nearest available unit, but the system had not confirmed the dispatch. The address error was preventing the automatic routing. I was trying to reach the unit directly by radio while keeping the caller on the line. She said she appreciated that. Then she said something I have thought about every day since that night. She said she wanted me to know that she did not think help would arrive in time. She said it not as a complaint and not as an accusation. She said it the way someone says something they believe to be true and have accepted. I told her help was coming and I asked her to stay on the line, and she said she would. There was a silence on the line. Not the silence of a disconnected call. The silence of a line that is still open but from which no sound is coming. I said her name, which she had given me early in the call. No response. I said it again. The line was still connected, I could see it on the board, but there was nothing on it. No ambient sound, no breathing, nothing. I kept the line open and I kept trying to reach a unit by radio and I kept saying her name at intervals and receiving nothing back. At 3:58 the line disconnected. I had been on the call for 17 minutes. I logged the disconnection and I tried to call back the number the call had come from. The number was not in service. I tried twice. Not in service. I contacted the supervisor on duty, a man named Frank who had been in dispatch for 20 years, and I told him what had happened and asked him to help me find the address in the system. We spent 40 minutes trying every variation of the address she had given me. It did not exist in our database. It did not exist in the county property records. It did not exist in any mapping system we had access to. Frank suggested that the caller may have given a false address, which happens, and that the call may have been a prank or a mental health related incident, which also happens. I told him I did not believe that was what it was. He asked me why. I said I did not know exactly how to explain it. He said he understood, that after long enough in dispatch you develop a sense for calls that are not what they appear to be, and that he trusted my instinct. He asked me if I wanted to file a welfare check request. I said there was no address to send it to. He said he knew. We sat with that for a moment, the specific helplessness of having received a call from someone who needed help and having no way to send it, and then the shift continued and other calls came in and we responded to them the way we always respond to them. When I checked the call log at the end of my shift the call was not there. No record of a call at 3:41. No record of the 17-minute conversation. No record of the unavailable number. Nothing. I have checked every shift since. It is not there. Frank has no memory of the conversation I described to him at approximately 4:15 that morning. I have asked him twice, carefully, without giving details, whether anything unusual happened on the overnight of March 3rd, and both times he said it had been a quiet night, one of the quieter ones recently. I do not know how to explain that. I have been a 911 dispatcher for 11 years and I believe that people who call for help deserve to have that help arrive. I believe that is the fundamental premise of what I do, the reason the job matters, the reason I have done it for 11 years through things that have made it very difficult to keep doing. I took a call on March 3rd at 3:41 in the morning from a woman who was calm and coherent and specific and who told me something was in her house that had been there for 3 weeks and that tonight it had come to her bedroom door for the first time and she wanted someone to know where she was. I could not find the address. I could not send help. The line went silent at some point in those 17 minutes and disconnected at 3:58 and the number was not in service when I tried to call back. The call is not in the log. I do not know where she was. I do not know what happened to her after the line disconnected. I do not know what was standing at her bedroom door. I have thought about the way she said she did not think help would arrive in time. I have thought about the particular quality of that sentence, the absence of blame in it, the sense that she was conveying information she believed to be accurate rather than expressing fear or despair. I have thought about whether she was right. I think about it most nights. I think about it especially on the quiet nights, the dead still stretches between 1 and 4 in the morning when the board is dark and the county is asleep and I am sitting in front of a screen waiting for the next call, wondering if somewhere out there a woman is watching something move through her house in the dark and has decided, after 3 weeks, that tonight is different, and is reaching for her phone.